All right, so the second part of the quiz, this one was calculator allowed. So on number 20 here, if you wanted to, we could just throw this whole thing into the calculator. All right, 5 to the second power, and then minus 18 divided by parentheses 3 minus 9. Okay, so 28. If we were working it out by hand, all right, tell you what, we'll just do the parentheses first. So 5 squared minus 18 divided by negative 6. Okay. What I'm going to do next is 5 squared. All right, 5 squared is going to be 25. Okay, minus 18 divided by negative 6. All right, division next. So what I need to do is 18. All right, notice there's two ways of looking at this, but the way I'm doing it is positive 18 divided by negative 6. So this is going to be 25 minus, that's that minus sign there, and then 18 divided by negative 6 is a negative 3. The double negatives, that just makes a big plus sign. So this is how we get 28. 25 plus 3. Number 21, negative 2 to the third power. So the way that this one's written, the exponent 3 only applies to the 2. Okay, it doesn't apply to that negative there. So what I'm doing is I've got to do 2 times 2 times 2. I like that. And then I need to apply one negative symbol. Okay, so 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then I'm going to put one negative symbol there. All right, finish off the parentheses. Negative 8 plus 20, that's equal to positive 12. And then 12 divided by 4, that's equal to 3. Cool. So number 22 is going to be option A. So in this case, that exponent does apply to the negative because that whole, everything inside the parentheses is being raised to the fourth power. So it's literally all of that stuff multiplied by itself 4 times. All right. This one over here, this one would be kind of like that negative 2 to the third power was. This one would be 1 negative and an x to the fourth. Okay. That's the difference there. 23, you're multiplying all these 4's together. So what we get to do is we get to add the exponents. Just don't forget that there's a 1 there. 4 to the first power. All those exponents add up to 14. On 24, since it's division, we will subtract the exponents. 18 minus 3, it's going to be 15. All right, 25, a couple of ways to think of it. The first way to think of it is like this. 4x to the third multiplied by itself 5 times. Okay, so since I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4's, the answer is going to be one of these two, where it's 4 to the fifth power. And then to figure out the x's, x to the third, you'll end up adding 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So that's going to give us 15. The shorthand way to do it is that the 5 just applies to the 4, so you get 4 to the fifth. And then on the x's, when you have an exponent raised to another exponent, we multiply those exponents. Okay, so 3 times 5, that's 15. Again, if you need to go back and look at your exponent rules, that's where all this is coming from. All right, 26. 5x to the second times 5x to the negative third. That's going to be 25 for 5 times 5. And then x to the negative fifth. I just did negative 2 plus negative 3. I added the exponents. All right, the negative exponent is going to flip just this part into the denominator. All right, that -5 does not apply to the 25. So the 25 is going to stay in the numerator, and the x to the 5th will go downstairs. And then the exponent becomes positive. That's that negative exponent rule. 27. All right. So first off, there we go. 3 to the 12th divided by 3 to the 4th is going to equal 3 to the 8th. All right, you subtract those exponents. So I know that this one's out, and I know that that one's out. It's got to have a 3 to the 8th power. The rest of this, let me just kind of ignore all these 3's since I know how that's going to play out. All right, up top, I'm going to have x squared multiplied. Here I've got a power to a power, so I can multiply the exponents. It's x to the 8th. Remember, this just means x squared, x squared, x squared, x squared, 4 times. And then downstairs it's x to the 5th. In the numerator, now I get to add the exponents since it's multiplication. X squared times x to the 8th is x to the 10th. And then finally it's division, so I'll subtract those exponents. There we go. 10 minus 5 is x to the 5th. All right, 28. All right, so we can use calculators on this. I need to know 10% of 38, which is 3.8. And then I also need to know 5%. This is how I'm going to find 15%. I just don't feel like dividing this. So 3.8, I need to cut that in half to represent 5%. 3.8 divided by 2. That's 1.9. So 15%, I'll just add these two answers. So 1.9 plus 3.8. That's 5.7. Okay, 29. In order to find 65%, all right, 10% is equal to 4. What I want to do is I want to find 60%, and I want to find 5%. All right, 5% is easy. I'm just going to take my 10% answer and cut it in half. 60%, the way you can do that is take your answer from 10% and multiply it by 6. So 4 multiplied by 6 is going to be 24. Okay. And then you just add these two answers, and that's going to represent 65%. So for 25%, you could work it out like this. 10% is 12.2. And then you could find 20% and 5%. All right, if you want to work it out that way, that's totally fine. The fast way for finding 25% is to take this and just divide it by 4. Dividing by 4, or cutting something into fourths, is how you can also find 25% of something. So 122 divided by 4 is 30.5. Cool. All right. Let's see how we are on time. Yep. It's too long already. All right, that's all.